I gotta turn on the mic if I'm going to stream. What's going on, Chubu? Welcome back to the Plot Coalition YouTube channel, where today we're going to be doing some animation, but also talking about some Titanfall. Unknown Waff, already in the chat. One of the biggest Titanfall fans that I know. Still playing to this day. Still grinding when we're on stream. So today we are going to be doing some animation for Helldivers, but I'm also going to be discussing my ideas for a season 2. Because as I was thinking about it, as I was reflecting on stream last week, I was like, Respawn didn't do anything for the 10 year of Titanfall, for the 10 year of their own company. But we did. We released New Frontiers. And I always said, I was like, I'll do a season 2 if Respawn gets involved. And there was a naivety to me that thought there was a slim chance that might happen one day. But as I've been working on Helldivers and just how much more involved the developers are in their game for Helldivers, so Arrowhead with Helldivers 2 in the community, I came to the realization, I was like, it's not going to happen. Respawn is not doing Titanfall anything anytime soon. And certainly not engaging with the content that the community is making. So I figured, well, I have all these ideas. The entire time I was working on the series, I was thinking about if I ever get to do a season 2, what would that look like? I thought about it a lot. And so now that we are here, I'm like, why not just share that? I think it'd be cool to share, give you guys the down low on what that is. So if you haven't seen New Frontiers, it's playing behind me right now. I will give a quick overview of what happened in Titanfall 2, what happened in the series we made, and then I will start revealing my ideas for what the season 2 of it would be. None of them are written down. These are just different ideas that I've come up with along the way in the direction that I'd like the story to go. We're going to do it all while we're animating, and then maybe we'll play some Helldivers 2 afterwards, because the Illuminate are being mighty shady, and they must be stopped. That is where Katie's tank used to be. Katie's tank is still there, but Katie no longer is. But all right, we are going to get right into it. I'll make myself a little bit larger here. But so let's talk about Titanfall 2. What was the story of Titanfall 2? Well, Titanfall 2 is the story of Jack Cooper and BT-7274. They are part of the Frontier Militia, and they work together. They're kind of put together in, unbeknownst or unlikely circumstances. Jack Cooper is a promising soldier who could one day become a pilot. He goes into battle, things go haywire, and he ends up having to take control of BT-7274, a Titan, a mech, that they form a relationship and go and kick a bunch of butt. As they're doing so, they get to the planet Typhon, or they're on the planet Typhon for the whole thing. But they go to destroy a weapon made by the IMC that is made to take out the militia homeworld. And when they get to it, they basically set off a nuke. Jack escapes, but BT sacrifices himself, and they blow up the planet. That's the Titanfall 2 story in a very tight, compact nutshell. New Frontiers, for anybody who hasn't seen it or anybody who doesn't remember, a lot happens in New Frontiers that is sort of a continuation from there, from that point forward. So New Frontiers takes place right after Typhon's been blown up. Like the IMC shows up, like IMC reinforcements show up like minutes afterwards. Oh yes, and there's BT Morse code at the very end for people who stick around to the very, 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 very end of the game. The post-credit scene is a Morse code message that gets left in Jack Cooper's helmet. So all that happens. Jump into New Frontiers. The IMC shows up minutes after the planet's blown up, and they just kind of like look at the situation from a perspective of, okay, like this obviously isn't ideal, but like, you know, how are we gonna bend the situation in our favor? Because the IMC's losing money. They can't really afford like a huge like PR like downfall, so they really need to crack down, like catch the people who did this, like execute them, all that kind of jazz. That's the kind of position the IMC's in. With that, they want you know, better and more consistent pilots. So they have this very old pilot, this pilot who's been doing this for a long time, train up, you know, a promising new recruit. That pilot was Celise. She's the main character in New Frontiers, and she trains up Gila, who is her student, her Padawan. So that's like the backstory. Story goes through. They start killing off main characters from the game, right from the get-go. You know, it's taken out Sarah Briggs, who was a big player in the first two games, and then moving through, you know, there are other names that kind of pop up and go through. So going through the New Frontier story, they're hunting down Sarah Briggs. They get her. They're hunting down Jack Cooper. And they eventually find him. Through all that, oh, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I really wanted to put a lot of depth into the story for New Frontiers because it's like, it was the thing that left us hanging. But the thing we're going to get to is that like New Frontiers also leaves a lot of questions. So it's all, you know, you never know. And so, getting through the story for New Frontiers, they eventually find Jack Cooper. Celise is like starting. She's not like anti IMC or anything, but she's starting to be like, hey, like the IMC that I joined and what the IMC is like cool with nowadays is like not it. It's you know, it's changed considerably. And the IMC is like okay with these things that, you know, like I'm personally not okay with, and that wouldn't have flown, you know, when I joined up. And that's a problem for her. So as she is, you know, kind of grappling with that, her and Gila are tracking down Jack Cooper. Gila, like, you know, for her entire time as a soldier, has been like basically taking IMC steroids by doing like this thing called regeneration, which is basically like you trade off like a little bit of like your personality, who you are, to like up your skill level. That is a very like baseline way to mention it. So they eventually find Jack Cooper, and there's this whole altercation that happens. Celise accidentally kills Gila. Spoilers if you haven't seen the show. But she accidentally kills her, and like ends up being forced into a situation where she has to work with Jack Cooper in the Frontier because the IMC is like out to kill her. So that is the position that they eventually get left in. Celise, kind of becomes like a beacon of hope for the frontier, because she ends up sacrificing herself to get everybody off the planet that the IMC plans on harvesting, because that's a whole other component. Is the IMC needs resources faster, so they just start sucking the juice out of planets. At that point, there's so much that happened in New Frontiers, but when they do go into that, you get to know a little bit more. There's been kind of like this 6-4 squad that was teased for a while, and then you get into the nitty gritty of like getting to know who those characters are. So there's 4 specific members of this squad, which are Beemore, Gaz, Juliet, and Tegan. Tegan and Celise get like a little bit close, and when Celise sacrifices herself, and like it's kind of like the end for her. Tegan kind of takes up the mantle, so she becomes the new pilot of BT 7274. Celise sacrifices herself, and then everybody on the planet escapes to the Outlands, which is like where like the Apex Legends timeline is like introduced, but like in a very like primitive state. So all that happens, and then at the very, very end of the series, where is my IK retargeter? It's not in here. 1 second. But at the very end of the series, it says it's checked. There we go. Oh, did that not transfer over? Apparently not. Not to worry. I can just make a new one. But at the end of all that, there is a Blisk cameo, Cuban Blisk, who is a popular character in Titanfall 2, in Titanfall 1, and in Apex Legends. He shows up and he takes Gila's body, and that's basically it. That's the cliffhanger. So from there, it's like super open-ended as to like, where do we go now? So that is where we'll pick up and kind of keep things going, to introduce the idea of, well, what does happen after that point. So at the very end of everything, Gila, or Tegan and the 6-4 faction, they're like kind of like spearheading this group that like kind of first landed at this new planet, the Outlands, and they're kind of getting their bearings, and it would be like very like survivalist-esque, and like out there there would be different factions from the remnant fleet that are like kind of scattered out in this sort of jungle world. Davis and Dross would be there. That'd be part of it. They'd kind of be like in between the doing stuff to kind of combat the IMC, and like kind of transporting back and forth to kind of get as much resource field out there as possible, because that's kind of my idea of what the frontier defense missions would be all about. Is like when you're playing those in Titanfall 2, it is a post like New Frontiers just ended. Davis and Draws are like trying to extract resources as much as they can before kind of having to fully pull out of the frontier. So that's where all of that would be happening. Whew. Okay. So after they do that, let me spin up the fan. Getting warm in here. All right. So after they do all that, or like while that's all going on, the whole group is kind of settling in, but things are weird, right? They unexpectedly kind of like ripped through space-time at like a point where nobody was prepared to for like a long period of time. So like that would start to have like a bunch of weird like psychological effects. And one of the things about Tegan's character in the show was that she was always very like every part of her kit used some sort of smart pistol, smart targeting technology within it. And so, scratchy audio, or is it just me? That might be me, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me double check. Make sure that I'm not the one scratching up the audio. Give me 3. We're switching back. Let me know if that fixed it. Sometimes it happens when too much of my GPU is being used at once. Let me know. If it's too scratchy, I will see about swapping it out. Sound good now? We good? Okay. Yeah, let me switch this to unlit. And maybe it won't bear down on my GPU in the background there. But, so, like I was saying, Tegan has, all these different, like smart pistol related things. And one of the things she starts to discover about herself is, I need an animations folder. That's why that's missing. Is that she, for whatever reason, there's like a bit of a mystery that while they were kind of like ripping through space-time that fast, she developed, or it kind of unlocked these very minor like telekinetic abilities. And so while that happens, it's like nothing that she has like huge control over, but it would be stuff like, rather than needing like smart targeting in a piece of equipment, like she could, very slightly change the trajectory of a bullet, stuff like that. And it'd be like a power that she'd be like very like adolescent with. And then like most everybody else is like pretty like their brains are starting to like turn to goop because of like how fast they had to move through things. So that is like, kind of phase 1 of like we landed on this new place, and now like there are these weird anomalies happening. And so from there, they kind of start to settle in, and then Bliss comes in, and there's like everybody who's already living here from like these defacted remnant fleet groups. They're all like, basically like borderline like wild, Like they're out there, but Blisk figures out very quickly that like, you know, oh, you can turn anything into a sport for these people and we'll be fine. And so that is where like the beginning of like the Thunderdome games start. So pre the Apex games, it's like an even earlier version of the Thunderdome games, where it's basically like very rudimentary, like, you know, you just kind of go into a like street boxing almost. But like a lot of people go in and at it at the same time. So he figures out that like that's something that he can set up, he can monetize, and like be able to, you know, afford things moving around. And he's got a bunch of money from when he just recently you know, finished up his contract with the IMC. So he's got some resource spend to start figuring things out, and he wants to use this to essentially rebuild the Apex Predator team, because the only person he had gone to try to get back into that was Jack Cooper. Jack Cooper is now dead, and like he hasn't rebuilt Ash yet. So neither of those things have happened. But the reason that he took Akila's body was because it did have an extremely high regeneration rate. And he figures if her body is viable enough, he can bring back enough of her where she was one of the IMC's best pilots. He could kind of start experimenting on her for when he wants to rebuild Ash in the future. So that is like where he's at. So those are the components so far. On the additional layer on top of that, so the IMC had waged this very expensive final expenditure of like, we're getting these new harvesters from Hammond Robotics. We're full scale attacking the IMC, or we're full scale attacking the frontier, and we're pulling as much resources as possible and trying to bring that back home. And that is like, you know, where they're going to like at that point they're like, we can pull enough, we can go back home, take everything we need from the frontier, start fixing things on the home world, maybe take small pockets of people from you know, like the core worlds, and, you know, transplant them onto the frontier and maybe try that again. It's like it becomes this very like tense geopolitical issue, and during that, basically like the core worlds are basically like they really only have the context of the frontier blew up a planet. Sure, you chased them off, but what's going to stop them from now coming back? Like, we just stole all this stuff from them. If you let them successfully escape, like, when are they going to come back and like take stuff back from us? Because they only know the frontier as like, you know, this terrorist group, you know, these terrorists that live on the outskirts of the solar system, who could come back and cause a lot of problems if they were to survive. And so the core worlds are like, you need to figure out a way to deal with that, because we can't have them coming back after you chase them off, because it's going to have all these negative adverse effects. So from there, the IMC puts together another one of their, you know, harebrained schemes to, I'm going to actually drop this into mocap. One of their harebrained schemes to essentially EMP the a distance in space, set it off to where basically like anything, what is it that they call it in Titanfall. In Helldivers, it's FTL fuel. Titanfall has its own version of that. But like basically like anything that is running on like that energy source, the nuclear Titan batteries, like stuff like that, they just need to find a way to set off like this ginormous EMP nuke to basically like go off in all directions and close off that ability to internationally travel through space. Now you're probably already wondering, if we take the IMC out of the equation, what happens from there, right? Where's the conflict? How does the IMC kind of come back? We'll get to that, don't worry. So what they do is it's essentially like voted and agreed upon that like this should be taken from a like the perspective of like kind of creating this in between. The core worlds don't want to continue to fund space travel, but the IMC and Hammond Robotics have like other thoughts, because they like they kind of built this empire, and so like the agreed upon course of action is to basically like kind of set up this in-between barrier where if people try to travel through it basically like would kill their ship engines and whatnot, and like they can't pass through this barrier in space that is kind of set up to protect the core worlds from anybody coming back into it. Kind of like a core worlds revolution, but essentially what would happen from that point, there's a lot of geopolitical different takes going on here. Is the IMC and Hammond Robotics is kind of like like, we get what you're saying, but we're not gonna do that. So what they end up doing is they take the last known position, like heat signatures of these ships, and they're able to trace it back to a point where they can send this ginormous EMP device to basically like trail the Frontiers people to the Outlands and figure out like where exactly they went. And so there would be like this whole subplot of like different characters like figuring that out and being like, wait, hold up, like like this wasn't part of the plan, like kind of thing. But it would get to a point where the IMC gets an EMP in range enough, and we're talking like this EMP, it's not like a little rink-a-dink thing. Like this thing is like it's like a ginormous space station that is just basically just this giant EMP nuke. I have no idea what's planned for music right now, honestly. I have a playlist I made months ago. It came from Artlist though. But what they do is like they send that as far as they can the other way to basically detonate it wherever the Frontier went, because they figure the closer it is to them and the further it is away from us, there's still the possibility to have interplanetary or outer planetary space exploration within what we already know We can kind of set up station at the frontier and look beyond there if we send this EMP out far enough. Even though it's something that the core worlds are pretty we need to stop doing stuff like this because it's costing us money and we can barely stay alive over here. So now we're tracking. From there, the EMP goes off, and this is where I kind of want to talk about where did New Frontiers leave us as far as what is to be discovered or talked about in Helldivers, or not Helldivers, in Titanfall at this point. And the biggest thing is what happened to the Titans? Why aren't there Titans in Apex? That is the big outstanding question. And if you're a huge Titanfall nerd, it's EMP related. But this is where it's kind of my twist on what would happen with that. So all of this is going on. This is why it would need to be, you're starting to get an idea of why this would need to be an entire second season to tell this story, because there's so much set up in the first part of the series. So now it's how would it translate and tee up the Apex Legends timeline as far as when the Thunderdome games would have started. Let me double check that this has the proper materials. Material girl. Yep. He's got some rain on him. So they send off this so it's what happened to the Titans? Why are there no Titans in Apex Legends? And then also kind of the idea that we already talked about is how did on his first try did Blisk get Ash back? Because in Apex Legends lore, Ash kind of in a very roundabout way of explaining it, she basically is a self-creation. That's as far as into it as I will get. She was a doctor who had this stuff figured out, but Blisk doesn't have that knowledge, and so Gila is kind of his test of can this be pulled off? All right, so now we're bringing it all together. So now we're at the impasse. So we're at probably episode 3 of the show. There would be Titans in just wait, Waff. I'm getting to it. So there are all these Titans. The Titans are already causing their own dilemma. Just because it's without factories, without the ability to make more batteries, how do you do this? And so one of the things with this EMP device is that it was able to be tested in small contained we can test this. Okay, that works to this degree, and there just comes a certain point where they just have to exponentially scale it up to where it's it might work, it might not. We really don't know, because they want it to kind of cover these swaths of space to kind of create this belt to protect Super Earth. What part of the show are we in? Oh, we're in that part. And so from there, it's a question of how do you do that. And so they set off this EMP device that they're we're pretty certain that this is going to work. EMP device goes off. and it's like still like hundreds of thousands of miles from the Outlands when it detonates, but it's like just enough to like cause more problems for the Frontiers people, because from here it's like, you know, this giant thing goes off in space. Their brains are already kind of like mushy gushy. They're dealing with all these other factions of Remnant Fleet folks who have just kind of been living on the land. So they're more like barbaric than like the Frontiers people were. And it's like, you know, its own issue. Okay. So now, from here, what would essentially happen is that all the Titans, they have these really smart brains. They're these big machines, the most intelligent AI that can be created, and, you know, put into a 72-ton chassis, or however big they are. What essentially happens to them is like the EMP fries their brains but doesn't shut them off. And so the Titans basically turn into wild animals. Borderline, I'm just now like making this connection in my head, but think like Horizon Zero Dawn, where it's like, okay, now you're this faction that is in like this unknown territory, this unknown land, and on top of that, like all of a sudden, all these robots that probably would have been really helpful just turned into wild animals. And so, like, that is like the state of all the Titans that were brought to that area. Which then turns it into like this big like issue of like, you know, you like all of a sudden these factions are very untrusting of like, you know, this new group of people, and on top of that, like they're trying to kill you know, all these robots that just like kind of showed up and started like laying waste. And, you know, like it'd be kind of like fun, like Jurassic Park-esque almost, where it's like, you know, you would have like the Spectres are basically like the Velociraptors of like robots. And it would certainly become this big problem for them to deal with. And on top of that, now the IMC, like, you know, can kind of start making their way into the Outlands, and Blisk is kind of like behind the scenes running the show. On top of that, the 6-4 is trying to do what's right, but like obviously what is right interferes with their interests, which culminates in like, you know, a much more contained and like beat down version of like, you know, Gila and Tegan basically having to brawl it out, and Tegan like still trying to kind of do like the right thing, and like Gila just being completely devoid of who she was. And one of the things that like the elements or the themes that I wanted to play with in a season 2 would be like, you know, the whole New Frontier series kind of grappled with this idea of like how far was Gila gonna go until like her brain was completely toast, and she like went all the way. And so in the sequel to the series, the idea would be that like it would always tease or make people want to believe that like somehow like Gila could come back, like like, oh, there's still a part of her that's in there, but then it would just be like the cruel reality of like, no, like, Gila died in the first season. Like, this is just like a completely devoid killing machine that is introduced. Like when Kylo Ren was first introduced in Star Wars, and it was like, oh man, this guy's cool, and then they made him really not cool. It'd be the opposite, where like Gila is really cool, and then like you would think that she would have like a Kylo Ren moment, and it never comes. I'm in my mind, it'd be like very like arcane tragedy, like kind of happening, where it's like, like the 6-4 members, like they likely just aren't making it through the whole story. B-More kind of like looks at the whole situation, and he's like, yo, like, I'm still relatively new. Like, I have this opportunity to strike out on my own. Like, Blisk is here, and Blisk is pissed off at me. I'm just gonna, like, peace out, Girl Scout. And, like, it's one of those things that's set up as, like, maybe he'll come back and, like, maybe he has his own, like, small redemption in some way. But it's, like, in reality, he would just be, like, pieced out of that situation. And it would deal with like all those kind of like messed up, like when people have to survive, what are they gonna do? And those are the sorts of themes that I would play with. On top of that, like, all the Titans have turned into these wild animals that are just, like, imagine if every wild animal was also bulletproof. Like, that's kind of the idea for what that would be. Unknown Waft saying there should be a scene where she steps out of the regen pod to show how it messes people up. Hey, thank you, Bird Brain. You have a good night. So kind of my thinking is like, like with Gila specifically, I'm not like 100% sure how I would want to do her like her appearance, how it changes. But kind of my thinking is like, by the time she's like had her body like regened enough, because like it was barely survivable in like organic form, like she is probably like pretty heavily modified, with like maybe only like part of her brain still in function. But it's definitely like all sorts of stuff that like I'd be playing with. But like she'd basically already be at a point where it's like it's not even about like regeneration in the sense of like, she can be regened. It's more like now she's just like already so far gone, and Blisk is so heavily modified her in the hopes of like, okay, like it was possible to create you, which means it's possible to, reinvent Ash. So like, I just need to find where her body parts are, which is another thing that is like kind of like weird about the Apex Legends timeline that messes a bunch of stuff up. But there would also be a reference to who's the really cool guy in Apex Legends, the old guy. who has the tracking smart pistol. I've forgotten his name. Apex Legends has fallen off so much I can't even remember like one of my favorite characters from it. If anybody remembers, let me know, because I cannot remember that guy's name. But he would be in it, as like, you know, like somebody who is like very early, like, you know, not like actively, but he would be he'd be mentioned. He's like an Easter egg character. Shoot, I really can't remember what his name is. But anyways, you know, he'd be a mention, as like, you know, probably like realistically timeline wise, like an 11-12 year old. But then it would Ballistic, that's who it is. Have they released any new legends in Apex? The last one I knew of was the Harley Quinn knockoff. That was like the last time I played Apex Legends, so I don't know if there's any new ones. What planet is this? This is the rain bug planet. Hold up, let's see here. Who is the newest Apex Legend? Apex Legends characters. Alter, that was the Harley Quinn Jinx knockoff. It looks like she was the last one. And she came out like a long time ago now. Man, yeah, they haven't added to the game since her. When did she come out? It doesn't directly say, but this YouTube video 10 months ago. So they were releasing a new character every few months, and it's been almost a year since they've added any new legends to the game. Are you going to be making these into episodes or a movie? If you're asking about Helldivers, Helldivers is a movie. So it's a little too short to be a series, but a little too long to be like necessarily considered a short film. It's about 50 minutes, which like it's a good engaging length for the film, but it certainly doesn't allow itself to be, like, in my opinion, a super engaging series like at that length. But it's coming together really well. I've been pretty slow on the on my own animations, but that's mainly because I have an actual group of folks who are helping me out with animation on this one, which has been so nice, because they're all much more talented than me. Oh, I need the auto keyer on. That's why my stuff keeps getting messed up. I'm like, why is this not doing what I want it to do? But I actually have a small team of people helping out, which has been super nice. But so we'll do this animation, and then maybe we'll go in and play Helldivers for a little bit, because I do want to do my part for Super Earth, because don't know if you saw, but the Meridian Singularity is it's a moving, and we need to slow it down. And Super Earth said that it was possible, so we are going to fight for it. But if anybody wants to play in like maybe 20-30 minutes, I'll be hopping on. But yeah, so those were my ideas for A New Frontier Season 2. If you have any ideas, or if you have any questions, is there anything that like wasn't answered like timeline wise that you're like, yo, this should totally be in the sequel? Let me know. I'd love to open it up for discussion now while we work on animating the shot. What's this Helldivers name? Hold up, he's got a name. There are a lot of Helldivers. So you gotta bear with me. This guy specifically is named every character, despite how much screen time they have or how long they survive, they all have a character sheet all about them. So this is Michael Ramos. And he's got this whole character biography. If you're in our Discord, they're actually all posted up there. But yeah, everybody has a good little bit of backstory that helped the actors really get into character with these characters, and we're also going to be releasing these more and more as promos for the film comes up. We just want to get it to a point where it's fully animated and moving into visual effects and sound design before we release too much and then kind of run out of stuff. So, but yeah, so that's this guy. This is Michael Ramos. As I live and breathe. Hey, thank you very much, Landigan. Yeah, no, the writing team did a spectacular job. We all kind of like got together and like, you know, I wrote the script and I was like, these are like all the characters we have, but like we need to be able to give them all like, you know, their own background and stuff. So the writers really went hard at work to set that all up, and, you know, create all these really convincing characters, which was, you know, really, really cool to see. Oh, I forgot this guy's supposed to be holding a gun. We can save it. Are you gonna add democracy officer? Yes, we do have a democracy officer, which I've gotten some comments about the character that Evan Boymel plays, because they're like, oh, like that guy should be dressed like a democracy officer. And while he like technically is like commander, he also has a democracy officer above him, and that democracy officer is in the Truth Enforcers uniform. Which you know, we all believe is the truest the truest democracy officer garb. If chain of command is a myth, then I think that's treason. Kind of sounds like you're spouting treason, or as you know, one of our Helldivers says in the script, you're spouting an awful lot of treason for someone in range of liberation. What is the stratagem ball? This is going to be an Eagle airstrike. So I'm just kind of like roughing where these different positions are, and then I'm probably going to actually put it in his hand. My throw here is kind of abysmal, so maybe I'll. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll bring in the attachments first, and then get this. Let me see. I don't really have to see the feet in the shot. There's a little bit of slippage, but I don't think the camera's ever going to be looking this low, so it doesn't really matter. It's Eagle airstrike. That's what he's throwing right here. So let's go grab a stratagem ball. Let's see here. Let's look. Oh. Apparently, not all my meshes came over. Let me go pull them out of a different Unreal project real fast. We'll pull from my animations project. Oh. Did we get lost? Was the connection severed? Hello, YouTube. YouTube, hello. Oh, there we go. YouTube paused for some reason. Still here. All right, cool. I don't know what's up with YouTube then. Well, cool. Yeah, we'll get this this shot wrapped up. Waff, I'm interested to know your Whoa! Hario 360. Hey, thanks for your hard work. Honestly, more excited for this than the actual Helldivers movie. All the best to you and the team. Hey, Hario 360 with the $50 super chat. I mega appreciate that. Mega appreciate you. And we'll continue working hard on this. It's a labor of love. It's taken quite a bit of time, but you know, it's great to be at a point where like it's just getting everything moving up the hill. We're very excited to be in this position, and also just like all the hard work that has gone into setting this all up. Like, I know I've shown it a couple of times, but like having like everything broken down to the exact amount of shots for every scene, like, is an unbelievable like weight off of everything. It does get intimidating when you get to like scenes like this, and like there are a lot of shots to animate, but being able to kind of microdose them almost is super nice. So I really appreciate that, and we'll continue working on it. Hey, Dabster Fox, I would be so down to play in a little bit. I'm waiting for this Unreal project to open up so I can get my stratagems in. I can go grab the Liberator though while we wait, and put that in hand. But Waff, what I was going to ask you about, thank you, Hario. I'm really glad you've been enjoying it. But Waff, being as big of a Titanfall fan as you are, and being a fan of the channel for as long as you've been, I'm curious to know your thoughts on the season 2 ideas. Is there anything there have been any big holes? Anything that you'd be particularly excited to see? Oh, I just realized all the flashing behind me was from the. I forgot I put I put New Frontiers up there. So it's on episode 3. Oh, so it was the planet blowing up. That's what was happening behind me. The at the end of Titanfall 1. Shoot. I can't remember the name of the planet you're fighting on. Where is the pistol? I mean, he should have a pistol on his leg, shouldn't he? Should probably see about adding that. I can add that to his character blueprint pretty easily. And a sample container. Oh, this Unreal Engine project, this other one that I'm trying to get open on my other screen, never opens. You know, we can actually get the cracking on that sort of thing. All right, so this we're gonna parent to left hand. Which will just kind of rotate down and around. Again, a lot of this we aren't going to see very much of. Mostly because like the camera angle is gonna start, like it's gonna kind of be down here for when his arm comes down with the stratagem ball. We're gonna be kind of looking up like this. He's like, calling in an eagle, stand back, and then we're gonna follow through his throw. So we're not even really looking at the gun all that much at that point. Oh my goodness, this Unreal project on my other screen. Finally, it's opening. Oh, and it jacked my audio 1 second. Sounded just downright terrible. Should be fixed now though. Okay, let me go and find that stratagem ball. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna migrate this entire thing, except for character designs. That I won't migrate. We'll migrate these. I just want no metahumans. Oh my goodness, there's so many assets for metahumans. But I do want to migrate everything from the Helldivers project. Okay. We'll migrate all that into here. And it should just take everything from there and drop it into this project. So we can have everything that we need. So I kind of want to mention, so we have this brain plugin. This is from William Fauché. It's this really amazing plugin. It's got kind of like these rain curtains. It's got all these rain particles. You can only really run it locally, but as you can see, it truly bounces off of everything, which is really nice. So even like this guy, like when it strikes the gun, when it strikes his armor, you know, it's treating it as a physical object in the space. And it can have different controls over puddles, and then it also, like if we get it close here, switch this to lit, you can see it might be kind of hard to see on stream, but there are also all these little details of raindrops on the Helldiver, which looks super nice. That directional light is being mega whack right now. Let me see if I can adjust that. Where's the gizmo? There you go. So now if we go find the Helldiver, it probably shows up maybe a little bit better. There we go. But you can see it, like the rain plugin is just incredible. William did a phenomenal job with it, and I set it up to work with the Helldiver armor here in this specific instance. And also works with the ground. I think there might be something a little bit broken with it right now. Just because it usually looks a little bit more higher fidelity than that, but I need to do some investigating. And it looks like our migration is almost done. The great migration of Unreal. Unknown Waff says, I love it. Everything you've thought up sounds absolutely amazing. It would be cool to see Bear show up somewhere, just because he is not a very recognized character. Ran out of letters, second part incoming. I think it would be good if the parts were spread out, like we see a scene showing the arena and all of what's going on there, and then a cliffhanger swap over to some people sneaking through a forest, being all quiet and stuff, just for contrast. Also, I imagine like a boss titan the characters come across at some point that acts sort of like a skill check for them. Absolutely. Bonus points at the boss titan is worship collage. Of course. But yeah, so I mean, those are, yeah, no, like, and that's how I would want a season 2 to be. And I have like so many ideas of different things that would happen. It kind of sucks because that terrible Jennifer Lopez, I think it's Jennifer Lopez movie on Netflix called Atlas, kind of already did it. But like, I also had in my head like just this idea of like as they're like trying to figure stuff out, and like, you know, they're probably skirmishing with you know, some of these different foreign factions, but like Titan drops, like you can't drop a Titan as effectively as you used to be able to. So something where like, you know, like a pilot accidentally gets ejected and it like becomes like an airborne like free fall kind of scene, all sorts of stuff. I keep thinking you're saying migraine because I have Warframe going, and oops, that's not the word. No migraine right now. Are you gonna add rock paper scissors? Yes. I actually have an animator working on that specific animation, the rock paper scissors animation. And they've done a really great job with it. There are tons of little moments that just kind of shine, like little things like that. Oh, I know. Langadan. I'm currently waiting for saving packages to destination 8,350 of 8,351. So it is stuck on there. Will there be Illuminate? This is a question I get every once in a while. So we wrote and started creating this show, or this, I call it a show. In filmmaking, everything's a show. We started making this film. The process started back in August, is when I started writing and concepting and putting it together. And then we brought in we brought in more writers, and we all sat down and figured it all out. And then we had like the script, and we had it cast in October, because we did a script read through on October 26th, so Liberty Day in Helldivers lore. We did our script read through, and from there we started recording with actors. Recording went relatively quick because I was going on vacation for Thanksgiving, so I wanted a good time to put together the radio edit and really nail down what this was going to look like so I could start storyboarding it. So it was already at that phase, and I was storyboarding when the Illuminate released and were added to the game. We knew that that was possibly going to happen just because they were in the first game, so it wasn't like if they add them, it was a when they add the Illuminate was the way that we were thinking of it. And so now that they have, we have kind of pre-planned ways of like, how can we hint to them without like compromising the story, because the story that we have written is like what comes first at the end of the day. So that is what we are currently going with. Our story is on the bot bug front, like kind of where those two worlds kind of start to get closer together. So it takes place, the main planet is Shelt, and it's written for that, but we have little ways to clue in the Illuminate as being nefarious, but it's also not focused on them. Like, you could just as easily be like, oh, the Illuminate, just weren't around for these few hours that this story takes place in. I'm hoping it's only a few months. I'm a big proponent of, like, get it done and have it as good as possible, but also to like don't rush it out just for like content's sake. So it'll take as long as is needed. But I also don't want it taking absolutely forever, and like runs out of steam. So my goal is, I would love to aim for a late spring, early summer is my goal. My life is very hectic right now. So I am navigating that as well. Hopefully it'll be calming down here soon, and I can give this like the proper focus that it needs to get there. But there is like also like a full-blown plan in place to get this done and keep everything on track, which isn't always the case with fan films. And I don't want to, it's the same reason why New Frontiers wasn't released as each episode was ready. It was released when all the episodes were mostly done. The New Frontiers release was essentially, I finished episodes 1 through 5, and I had them good and ready to go, but I still need to do VFX, sound, and everything on episode 6. And I was like, well, if the release schedule for New Frontiers is over a week, that means I have a full week to get New Frontiers done, and I was living like off of my freelance work at that time, so I cleared my schedule. I was like, New Frontiers is like going to be done because it's going to be posted like in its entirety. And on, on that like the day it was supposed to air, like I legit got it done and I previewed it 30 minutes before it went live. And I just like screamed through it. I watched it at like 3x speed as it was uploading. And I was like, I sure hope it hits the marks it needs. And I was like, it's good. We did it. And it aired 30 minutes later. So for an hour-long episode. So that was a little bit crazy. But a good experience. For sure. All right, so this is why I wanted to get the stratagem ball in hand, was so that this could all line up properly. I wonder if his arm needs to come back a little bit more. Show us your stratagem ball. Sounds great. Very smart of you guys to think ahead about hinting at the Illuminate. Yeah, and that was like, it was one of those things where one of our writers kind of brought it up, where he was like, hey, at some point they will be added to the game. Nobody just really knows when. And so we just started like looking for little ways they could be hinted at. And found a happy medium to be like, yeah, the Illuminate could be around, but we're we're gonna be very discreet about it. Where are my curves? Where are my curves at? I was never really any good at baseball. Whoop, 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 whoop. We'll rotate his hips this way. Is that my audio? I'm gonna turn my speakers off. Because then out of my speakers it was sounding kind of poopy. But if it sounds okay with it for you guys, by all means I'll leave it the way it is. So then from here, boop, we could detach that. And we'll kind of more or less throw it semi straight out this way. This is going to be a bunch of fog and stuff here too. Sort of a straight shot from where he tossed. That'll also go up. This rain and music is setting the mood. I'm doing what I can, keep y'all entertained. Alright, location. So really, I just need the... Whoop. How's that looking? It's looking a bit intense. Calling in an eagle. Stand back. I wonder if we have them start here. Crouched in and down more. I wonder if I think it's actually the follow through that doesn't have me convinced that he just threw it. Which would make sense because I was like basically hucking my arm at my wall when I did the mocap. I think between that set a keyframe for this. Just so his arm can fling a little bit. There's like a weird function that causes these to move a little unnaturally, but hey, we'll work with it. Again, this is gonna be all happening really fast. Motion blur, all that jazz. And we'll open up his hand a good amount. Oh. Red alert, red alert. He was not ready. It's all right. We'll just close everything back on top. Raw. There we go. We fixed it. I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, oh no! Oh no! Come back, YouTube. Sorry guys, my YouTube went wackadoo. I was like literally thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if he was just throwing the ball in the air at the wall and he had a baseball for reference. Nah, that put a hole in his wall. Yeah. Yeah, so that I'm faking. The gun, I have a Nerf gun in my hand with like some weight tied to it to make it heavier. Actually, I have it right here. I just duct taped a tripod to a Nerf gun to make it heavier, which makes it great for recording mocap. But I did not have a ball. All right, let's throw a camera in here, just kind of see what it looks like. In context, this should have... It has an emissive. Property. Huh. I'll have to look into that. Because it should light up right in the middle. Or at least give me a control for that. But I can look into that later. What's wrong with my ball? I mean, it's a you know, I can very easily just attach a point light right to there and just blow it out. Actually, here, let's just do that real quick. Let's see here. Lights, point light. We're on episode 4 of New Frontiers. So many good memories in that show. I mean, it started what you know the Plot Coalition as today. Which is crazy. There we go. Then we'll make the attenuation radius pretty small. Maybe like 15. 15 feels pretty good. And we'll make this one red. And for now, we'll parent it to the wrist for now, because if we parent it to the ball, it's going to have problems. But we can have it brighten up as he pulls it away. That's a 0.4. We'll give it a 1. Calling it an eagle. Actually, hold up. We really shouldn't go that high. 0.1. That feels a little bit better. It's super bright. Goodness. Stand back. And so here, where the ball detaches, we'll just kind of manually set this next frame. And then add a new parent to be the stratagem ball. So that gives the illusion that it stays stuck to that. But now we can still control like all the controls we need on the body for this. Then this directional light, I kind of want to just turn it off, in all honesty. But I could also... Unreal is doing this super annoying thing. Sometimes Unreal will just like turn controls off. Alright, so we don't want the directional light off entirely. Oh wait. Ha, wrong one. And then we'll rotate it for this specific shot. To almost act as a like a backlight for this guy. And we'll fill him in too with like a. For now, I'll do better lighting here and on my own time, because like Unreal is starting to kind of break a little bit. But for now, we'll throw this behind him. My post-process volume must be insanely turned up. Oh yeah, it's almost at a 15. Yeah, let's turn that down to a more reasonable 13 will be my max. But this will just kind of give him the lighting from the extraction zone, which is a cool look. And then this we can actually turn back up to like 0.05. All looks good in the hood. And then we'll just, we'll watch the animation back real quick. And we'll probably end up putting the camera like right here. There's some more cleanup that I can do at this point, but this is a pretty good start. I feel pretty good about this. Oh, this is going to do with a film camera. I didn't want that. But whatever. We'll just go for something crazy like a 12. Maybe a 16, be a little bit more modest. But yeah, I mean, overall, this shot is looking fairly decent. I'm pretty happy with this. I wanted to get started on some of these other scenes because I've been doing stuff inside the Super Destroyers primarily, and I'm just kind of getting sick of those scenes. So I wanted a little break. He's like, stand back. The camera will probably follow him, like, over to there. There'll be a lot of fog in here. More rain. I gotta get everything set up. This is like the general gist. Yeah, so I got quite a bit of cleanup work cut out for me. But I'm liking where it's at. So I gotta do a bit of cleanup work on it. But I'm pretty happy with it for being on live stream. All right, I am going to hop into Helldivers. If anybody would like to join me, I'll be there in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to switch over to my other countdown stream while I close out Unreal and boot up Helldivers. Then we'll go and battle the Illuminate because they need to be purged because they're causing all sorts of problems. So I will be right back. But if you just came for the Unreal Engine portion of stuff and to hear about New Frontiers, hey, I am super glad to have had you here. Now let's go play some games. I'll be right back. All right. Sad fish cam going away. Hearts out for Katie. She was the best. She really was. All right. Let's see here. If you are going to work, have a good one. Happy to have had you here. Grix Animations. I mean, I think it's only right that we run the cowboy loadout. Some sort of cowboy loadout variant. I've not used the heavy armor. Oh, you're still pretty fast in this armor. Did all the... It looks like all the armor got a speed buff, which is kind of cool. I don't know what the mission is yet. I haven't decided. This is by far my favorite helmet from the new War Bond. The Iron Man Mach 1 helmet. That's what I would defer to it as anyways. That's kind of a cool look. We'll run with that. As opposed to this is like the one that comes with the War Bond, but I kind of like the look of this. It's a good look, good look, good look. How long am I going to be streaming today? I'll probably maybe do an op. We'll see what's kind of going on in the... Okay, this is what they posted in Discord earlier. So we have to fend off the Illuminate. Extract from a successful mission 3 times. Seems easy enough. Alright, I'm gonna go help this guy who's by himself.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
Windtalker, 14K.
Repeat, Helldivers to Hellpods. Mission preparation aborted. Hellpods primed.
This guy better be stepping out to give me a hug.
Glad to have you on.
Oh, nope, he went back in his hole. It's been a minute since I played against the Illuminate. It actually hasn't been that long. Played with some friends not too long ago.
What about here?
We hot drop in, we extract drop in. What's up, W1? Hey, Waff, you go and enjoy your dinner. And thank you so much for hanging out. I really enjoy having you on stream. So, if you want to hang out anymore, just let me know. I'll be here streaming. For a little bit, anyway. Alright, I have to try the hover pack. I haven't used it yet. So let's go hover pack. I feel like Stalwart is an easy one to go with. And maybe strafing in 120. Whoa, what are these? What is that? The
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
actually, you know what I'd rather have? Rather have more support, but I am going to swap this out for yeah, just regular needs. So I've never used the hover pack, but we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to give it a try.
Launch initiated.
I'm really excited for this part in the film. I'll listen to the radio edit when I'm making my commute to work. And there are times where the hell pod drop in the audio version of the film. It just gives me a little bit of chills. It's well built up too, if I do say so myself. Alright. Grenadier Battlement. Huh. I guess we'll figure out what that does. Oh, this is cool. Oh, and it's a nice slow, like, letdown. Whoop. Get off of me, bro. Alright. Whew! Yeah, two can play at this game. Whew. Not a bad cooldown either. Oh, come on. I shouldn't have reloaded that. Silly me. I guess we'll figure out what that thing does. Oh, nice. So it's a little grenade launcher. Well, that's cool. Gonna have me be quicker at that.
Last reload. Sending in an eagle. Here comes the cavalry.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Bro lost his right to vote and used it to kill me. That is undemocratic.
Ready to liberate.
Tagging map, southeast, 200 meters.
Requesting air support.
Democracy's on its way.
Where's my stuff? I at least want my hover pack.
Sending in an eagle.
Here comes the cavalry.
Alright, I got the thing off his head at least. What are we looking for? What are we doing? Guys.
Found something.
Classic.
Marking location.
Throwing supply beacon. Reloading.
You will never destroy our way of life. Squad outpost. Dropping a pin, northwest, 200 meters.
How we looking?
Sending in an eagle. Engaging terminal.
All right,
Northwest, 200
Affirmative.
let's go help them out. The new pistol is great against the little scavenger hover ship guys. My stamina is being greatly affected, though. That's what I get for choosing the heavy armor. But it went down in like 2 hits. Wasn't too stoked on that.
Orbital inbound.
We'll see if we can link up with them over this way.
Found something.
Apparently I found something.
Tagging map, southwest, 200 meters.
Ow. It's the other outpost. Alright, let's go hit it. See how we go.
Requesting air support.
Let's just bomb them in
Orbital.
the midst of all this.
Firing orbital barrage, clear the area.
Because I don't even know where they're at.
Trying to rearm.
We'll start making our way into it.
Rare sample acquired. Got a sample.
I am the definition of a Helldiver who thinks they're invincible.
Found something.
Alright, there goes their ship defenses.
Outpost cleared. Mission at 30 minutes remaining. Dropping a pin. South. 100 meters.
Affirmative.
Did we already do the main objective? Oh no, we gotta go save the citizens. I'm trying to remember, I was like, what even was this mission? Oh, sweet Dabster Fox. Whoa, my guy. Yeah, let's definitely get into a game here in a minute. Let me finish helping these folks out. Hey, that is incredibly rude. Whoa! Don't swing that at me. That's what you get. Huh? You too. Both of you knock it out.
Calling down fortifications.
This Eagle 1, we're back in business. Reloading.
And I'm a cowboy.
Reloading. Sending in an Eagle.
Here we go.
Delivering payload.
Ooh. Nice.
200 meters.
Dropping a pin. South. Affirmative.
This is the Mandalorian fantasy right here. Wasp, you did. You missed all the ideas. You'll have to go back through and check them out.
Reinforcing.
Walked through my season 2 in depth. What would cue that all up? I'll give you this. I'll give you this. Within that was my idea for like the Titans, but they basically become wild animals. So that's enough to intrigue you. You can go back. It's basically the whole first probably 40 minutes of the stream. I recap the Titanfall 2 kind of history, and then I talk about the where New Frontiers left off, and then my season 2, if it were to ever happen, idea. Ooh, that poor soul. What about Halo? I would definitely consider doing something in Halo. There's just a lot of people who make Halo content. And like, even at the time that like we started working on this, like there wasn't a super ton of Helldivers content yet. There's been a lot more of it coming out, which is super cool to see. Same thing with like, I would love to do something like Warhammer related. That could be super cool. But I also don't want to get, you know, completely shut down. That is a legitimate, not necessarily fear, but like it's something I just don't want to even bother checking. Yeah, feel free to DM me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Again, like, New Frontier Season 2, I'd love to do it. I'd probably need Respawn's help to make that happen, and Respawn is just not interested in anything Titanfall related. Meanwhile, I can be a legitimate space cowboy shooting alien zombies in a game where the developers care about the IP. Which, for a... if I were to do a Helldivers follow-up, there would definitely be something very adjacent to what you're seeing right now. Yeah, exactly. Warhammer would be such a can of worms to open up. That was one of my favorite things in Halo followers, like recent video, where it's like everywhere written on the Warhammer armor, it's like, this is a parody. I was like, God, I really don't want to deal with all that. Alright. You know what this get up and everything would make me pretty excited for, though? Diesel Knights. When's that gonna come out? And can I help them make their cinematics for their game? Do I play Warframe? I do not. I am curious. I'll probably put out like more of an official poll at some point. Also, nobody is attacking right now. It's kind of weird. But out of curiosity, what games would you all want to see like me do a short on in the future? Because I have been thinking about like post Helldivers. I want to do just another small project. And so what would that be? Alright, Dabster Fox, I am going to work on extracting right now. And then we can play together.
Dropping a pin, northeast, far.
This is the way. Dang, that is so satisfying. I love this hover pack. It kind of does exactly what I use the jetpack for most of the time, which is just like
Enemy elite. Southwest. 100.
which is just to get above and out of the way of enemies, but like this allows me to stay in place and snipe at them. And it's slightly faster than walking. That's all I need it to be.
Tagging location, southeast. Never mind.
That's right, you can join the Helldivers today. Thank you, double-edged sickle.
Reinforcing.
You may proceed to extraction when ready. Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Sending in an eagle. Delivering payload. Reloading.
Wait. Requesting air support. Liberty, save me!
Requesting air support.
Get some! Get some!
There we go, double cut him.
Calling in extraction.
Sending in an eagle.
Administering freedom.
Extraction shuttle inbound.
Reloading.
Eagle 1 withdrawing to rearm.
Calling down fortification. Orbital inbound.
Orbital barrage incoming. Stand clear. ETA T-minus 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Okay, yeah, this thing's pretty cool. It's only the one direction, which is a little annoying, but I can understand why. It makes sense. Ouch. Buddy.
Heavy. North. Up.
I can't turn that far.
ETA T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
Ooh. Whoa! What happened? That was a crazy... I don't know if it was a glitch or what. But it was funny. It was funny. Come on. Can these guys... Oh my word, that guy ate half a stalwart mag.
ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
Jeez Louise. Jeez Lois.
Requesting fortification.
ETA T-minus 20 seconds.
Requesting air support. Orbital inbound.
I swear this game is like the greatest. The greatest game.
Requesting air support.
Administering
Every time they add to it, it's like, how are they gonna one up the way it is right now? And then they do.
Pelican 1 landing sequence initiated. Watch where you're standing.
Sending in an eagle.
Nope. Taxpayer money. Can't let it go to waste.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Countdown initiated. Stand by for takeoff.
Requesting air support.
democracy's on its
Alright. Let's go.
Extraction complete.
Alright, Dapster Fox. Get ready to jump in. I think I got one more in me before it's time to hit the hay. Absolute democracy. Mm-hmm. Cool. Let me check my stats real quick, and then I'll jump in with you. Do you play level 10? I'll play any level. I just have been mostly just been playing level 10 though. Let's see here. Nice. Cool, we can run one of them. All right, let's find out. The anticipation's killing me. Where in New Frontiers are we? Oh, this is a pretty good scene. Oh, I got kicked out. Oh, the host must have left. All right. Let's see. Dabster Fox, we're friends, aren't we? We've played together. Have we not? We haven't. Oh. Well, here. There's a friend code. Go ahead and add me. Sup, dude? Just wanted to hop on by to say thanks for inspiring me to get back into my Titanfall writing and drawing. Had been working on my spin on a Titanfall story of my own since 2016, on and off. Hey, Ordy, that is super cool. And I'm glad I could inspire you to do that. That's honestly like all I wanted New Frontiers to really do, is just inspire people to create and tell their own Titanfall stories. So I'm glad I could do that for you. And if you're in our Discord, shoot me a message and I can give you the artist role, and you can post it up there and I can check it out. Also, definitely link up with I Am Wasp in the chat. He runs a lot of the Titanfall wiki stuff.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron. Engaging orbital thrusters.
Let's see. Wasp, if you want to come join us. Get some, Yep.
Helldivers.
Hail Super Earth.
Alright, what are we looking at? We can start our own up. I think I only have one mission in me. Let's do some defend the flag.
Hellpods prime. Engaging orbital thrusters.
Probably swap to a lighter armor though.
Orbit synchronized.
Maybe we just do one big old circle.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
Ooh. This is a very, well, now I feel like I should just run the thick armor
Allied
anyways.
destroyer has joined squadron.
This is kind of cool. Oh, yo, yeah, we gotta keep it this way. Your girlfriend's holding you hostage. if your girlfriend is preventing you from spreading managed democracy, then needs to be a serious reevaluation. But anytime that you both want to play, let me know. I would be stoked and way down. All right, let's see here. We'll go railgun. I feel like we got to be like pretty exclusively cowboy themed now. We'll go railgun, HMG. Yo, already joined the Discord. It's linked in the description here and on the channel. What do they not have? You know what? Maybe I'll be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy. And I'll go muscle enhancer.
Health pod launch initiated.
Here we go.
Let's give them Helldivers.
Also, though, for those of you who don't know, Dabster Fox is one of the voice actors in For Liberty, a Helldivers film. Yo, eyes, go washed, my guy.
The skies of this world once more. Calling down a support weapon.
Requesting orbital.
We'll just put that over there.
Firing orbital barrage. Clear the area.
Requesting tech pack. Calling down a support weapon.
Bunker on my mark.
Affirmative.
I love the way the hover pack catches you when you're by the ground.
I'm on it.
Bag's empty. Never mind. Tagging location. West.
Hot dog. 2 stacks for the cause.
I'm loving Dabster Fox's sound clips. He's just embracing the spirit of the game.
Reloading.
Which, for those of you who are wondering, that is his real voice. Sweet, Ordy, glad to have you in the Discord.
North on station.
Let me know what you plan on posting. Just shoot me a DM and I'll get you that artist role, so you can post it in the Share Your Art channel. Oh, he already collected all the splooge.
Affirmative.
I'll take care of research station. Go for Steve.
Calling down fortifications.
There's something here.
Package acquired.
Requesting air support.
Drop in package. Package acquired.
Yo, this is a solid safe.
Dropping package.
2 napalms, explosive. Is that a mini nuke I see? Is that a mini nuke I see? 3 napalms? Yo, let's go.
Sample select package acquired. Dropping package.
This is a good C4 artillery right here. This is what all of them should be by default.
Requesting air support.
Active acquired.
Calling in reinforcements. Engaging terminal. Found something.
Tagging map. Northwest. Pause. Calling down a vehicle.
Oh, we got some stragglers.
Objective completed.
No more legs for you.
Support weapon.
Oh sure, I'll leave my HMG behind for yours. Only because yours has wheels.
Up aboard, Timer.
Heavy. Southwest. 50 meters.
Requesting sentry.
Calling down. Yeah! Found something.
What are these guys doing? How did I miss? How did I miss? Alright.
Illuminate. Northwest.
Come on.
How do you
Bop.
like the taste of freedom?
Bop.
Dropping a pin. Southwest. 200 meters.
Supplies. Never mind.
Enemy patrol. North.
Alright.
Illuminate. Southwest. 200 meters.
Kind of feels like we should probably start playing the objective soon, but we're just having such a dang good time. Yo, what's up, Grape? Welcome to the chat. Happy to have you here hanging out with us. Are we dropping samples at Extract?
Calling down a support weapon.
Affirmative.
Ah. Got him before he could set it off.
Requesting fortification.
Ah! He melted me. Straight up eviscerated.
Request approved.
I am not holding Wasp hostage. Well, hello to you.
Join the fray.
It's good to finally see you in pseudo person. The most I've seen you is in gameplay clips. Great.
Enemy on mark.
Alright, he's at an into town. Hey, Waff, welcome back. I hope you had a great dinner. Let's see here. Can I get on this roof? Yes! Let's go. Roof time, baby.
Orbital inbound.
Oh, hi. Bye. Made some mac and cheese. Let's go.
Heads up! Heads up!
I feel like I should go help Dabster Fox. He's like taking on this whole thing by himself. Yeah, come chase me.
To the sky!
Wee.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining.
Ow! 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 Hey, guys! Guys! Big misunderstanding. Alright, well, now you're all dead, so take that.
Mag's empty.
Request approved. Reinforcement.
I like how Wasp did not
Helldivers.
recognize Grit at all in the chat. He did not acknowledge his claims of being held hostage. Those accusations were false.
Reinforcing. Reloading. Requesting advanced weaponry.
Alright, I need to get my pack back.
Inbound.
Sending down equipment package.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
We're gonna stand a chance. I wear my captors here. It's like that video of who is it? John McCain in the POW camp.
Liberty to
They treat me very well. I get fed 3 square meals a day. Actually, this Japanese POW camp is so nice I don't want to leave. Don't bother trying to find me.
Get some. Get some.
Mostly for disruptor.
tactical asset near your position.
Whoa, that is a lot of guys. Call Phil Swift to plug all these holes. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the disruptor as well. I give him sunshine time. Hey, I ain't the one throwing out accusations.
Throwing grenade.
Had to make double sure.
Disruptor down.
Sweet. get this Seif over here, huh?
Calling down fortifications.
Notified.
Requesting sentry.
Requesting sentry. How about a nice coffee? I'll be liberty.
There we go.
Illuminate, southwest. New man.
There we go.
Fortification. Engaging terminal.
Had to be sure.
Going down at the northwest. Tagging location. North.
Dropping a pin. Northwest, 200 meters.
I got the terminal.
Alright. That seems all good.
Objective completed.
Take a little hit.
Squid outpost.
Dropping a pin. North. 200 meters.
Let's move this way. We're way off course, but we'll find our way.
Mostly
Air
north
sample
marker.
collected.
I'm real careful. Hee hee hee. Hee 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 hee.
Found something.
You know what?
Watching orbital.
That looks like a job for a 380.
Firing orbital barrage. Clear the area.
I don't know what that was. That's a napalm. I was hoping it was a mini nuke. Hey yo, things getting crazy out here. Cowboy City over here. Some of you may die, but it is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
To the sky.
Officer down, move up.
Dropping a pin. 100 meters. Sending in an eagle.
Launch from 500. Stand clear.
Whew. Little trigger happy there.
Objective near your position.
Oh, Tesla tower. Don't want to go near that.
Tagging map. North. 100 meters. Calling in a hell bomb.
Glad I'm showing up just in time to help.
Bomb set, clear outside.
New mag.
Here it goes.
Found something.
Objective
pretty cool. Time to bust out the lawnmower.
Checking map. East, 200 meters.
What? Jan's Dance Vance! How could you? How could you? Jan's Dance Vance.
Request approved. Reinforcements on the way.
That hurt. That hurt. Am I a North Star? I'll never tell. Don't tell Modin that I cracked the North Star kit without him.
Dropping a pin. Southeast, 100 meters.
I need my stove. Yo, this is... Oh, this is, squid piles. Very squiddy squid piles. Rip, rip, rip.
Outpost cleared.
Enemy elite. West, 50 meters.
Alright. Let's grab some ammo.
Tactical asset.
Wow, wow. That's the sound, the Illuminate soundtrack for you.
Objective near your position.
Requesting air support.
Mission at 20 minutes remaining.
I will say this pistol is probably the best one in the game. I would argue to say it outdoes the Senator for me.
Tagging location. West.
What are you doing? You didn't even have feet.
Outpost cleared.
All right, let's go help out Dabster.
Calling down fortifications.
All right, I'll leave one more open for you and Grape to join.
Objective.
Me and Dabster will stick around for you and Grape to hop in. We'll do like a defense or a blitz or something. And then I'll probably have to call it. I got work in the morning. Where are they coming from? Over here? I got a simple fix for that.
Orbital barrage incoming. Stand clear.
Requesting fortification. Calling down fortification. Calling in reinforcements. Reinforcing.
Harvester destroyed.
Thank you, Dabster. You sit down.
You have accomplished Liberty's will. Extracted your discretion.
The fact that Grape listens to Creed while she plays, I'm starting to sway towards maybe Wasp was in fact the line about the whole being held captive thing. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. Based entirely on music taste.
To the sky.
Southeast, farm.
Let's roll out, divers.
Proceed to extraction when ready.
Activating jump pack.
Calling for exfil.
Calling in extraction.
Ah! I couldn't finish typing that message in time. It was, it was in good faith. I tried. Wait, 500 inbound here? Oh, over there.
No texting and timer.
Requesting fortification.
Minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
Did this go the wrong way? No, it didn't.
Get some! Calling down fortification.
ETA T-minus 1 minute.
Heavy enemy forces inbound on south and east.
Tactical democracy.
Oh my word. Ta-da!
Requesting orbital. Requesting tac pack.
ETA T-minus 20
Calling
seconds.
down a support weapon.
What are you doing here? Brother! Brother! Oh my word. Ow! Stop beating me up! Guys, this isn't funny anymore! Oh my word! Oh my goodness! Brother! That is not a hell yeah, brother!
All
I gotta get
on
my-
board.
I gotta grab my samples, hold on.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
Victory was never in doubt.
Man, that was something else right there. Alright, Grape and Wasp. If you guys are in the wings, we'll get you in here. Bum 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 bum. Whoa, we're on episode 6. All of New Frontiers will have played out behind me by the time the stream's over, I suppose. How did we fare? How have we done? Cowboy Squad.
Divinity shines bright this day, divers. Well done.
I had more friendly fire damage than I would have liked.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.
Good luck out there, Helldiver.
All right, Wasp, where are you at?
Pleasure to dive, diver.
I think he-
Helldivers, protectors of humanity, paragons of democracy, heroes to their very...
All right.
Player
Oh,
has
okay.
left squadron.
He left by his own volition.
On how many?
All right. Invite to squad. And then
Freedom of assignment program. Best suits their dreams.
Allied
and
destroyer.
then I don't know
has
if
joined squadron.
Welcome aboard, diver.
test. If I use this, can you guys hear me doubled up, or is it just coming through the game?
You are heard.
Will Grape be joining us? Oh snap! There she is.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
Yes, this is my girlfriend Grape. She is also a voice actor.
So wait, why'd she never fill out a form?
Quite
Never
different
joined
act
into
for
the
not filling
project.
out a form there, diver.
No worries. Good to have you here.
She's probably trying to figure out what the push to talk is.
For default, it would be caps lock. For me, I put for D.
All right. Let's go evacuate some colonists.
Hellpods prime. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized.
Let's kill him, diver.
Box.
Oh,
How you been, buddy?
hello?
hello.
Got her, Grape. Welcome aboard.
Oh, hello. I just opened mic, so you might hear me scream.
All right.
All in the days of liberating.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Shut up, clock in and load up.
Bringing my usuals.
Let's see here.
Am I blind? I think I'm blind. I assume that's...
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna run this time.
Ooh, they got the new stratagem over here.
Yeah, it's
Dang it. I won't
yeah. It does work quite well.
Launch initiated.
I certainly hope so.
Let's make some calamari, divers.
Or manage democracy.
For freedom.
For liberty.
Some of you may die. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Some of you may die. But that is a sacrifice that I will make. Of my own volition.
For the Shrek 5 teaser trailer.
But that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Coming in hot.
Let our enemies choke upon their territory. E-wagon deployed.
We going to the laser and
Taking map. Northwest. 200 meters.
Big friend.
Calling down a walker.
Calling in a big friend as well.
wonderful.
West, 200 meters.
Looks like we got a convoy on our hands.
Sorry.
Don't worry. Let's motion north.
Valley Fall. We ride into dawn.
We'll take care of sand site. Go for outposts.
Copy. Burn and burn.
I'm just away.
That way you go. Get
Found something. Calling down fortifications. I got the terminal.
Out of my way.
All right.
Here we go.
Will the lasers fire infinitely across the map?
Depends on what laser you're talking to.
Democracy delivered.
Well, that took way more fall damage than I was anticipating. I'm coming. Yep.
I was trying to park in a parking space for you.
Objective critical stratagem available.
We got incoming.
Found something. Calling down
Notified.
objective equipment.
Breaking the law real quick.
He just said he's breaking the law real quick.
Just breaking the law, breaking the law.
I said real quick. Just because it says do not enter doesn't mean I can't liberate this spot on my own. If I can read that sign, nah, I don't like it.
Bum.
Mission is progressing.
Dropping a pin. Got far.
Hello. I guess I'm sitting in the back seat.
If you want to swap around, you can. We got that.
Reloading.
I like the view from here better.
Motioning for main objective point.
Autobots, roll out.
Autobots, roll out.
Northwest.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Is what I would say if I lost my Helldivers.
Marking location. South.
I'm gonna work on the SAM site.
Sounds good.
There's an IRL bug attacking me right now.
Just remember your training.
Reloading.
Dropping package.
Here's a big explosive for you.
Requesting invaded weaponry.
Package acquired. Dropping package.
I got the terminal.
Ooh, is that a mini nuke? That is a mini nuke. Yippee.
Dropping package.
That was a bad
I'll have to
What the-
Package acquired.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to
Willing
save
voters
that.
safety.
Dropping package.
What were you gonna
Say
say?
again, Blood.
I was gonna say I need to add that as a line for if we ever do a sequel to the Helldivers. Is that a mini nuke? Yippee!
Yippee!
Requesting fortifications.
Do have a quick animation of a bug inputting the fucking hell bomb code. You're like, sweet liberty.
Package acquired. Dropping package.
No, I'm going to now though.
Package acquired. Dropping package. Really, them?
How's my eyes?
Northwest. 300
We have a second vehicle on the field.
Tagging map. East.
On the
100 meters. Dropping package.
Oh,
Well, how say when you are good with driving in this game?
You said what?
Yeah, bot. How would you say,
you got one. Yeah, my
driving
big friend.
skills are, please?
I'm sorry. It's hard to resist a big friend.
I'm just gonna call it that from now on. Big friend.
Big one.
Just as I call mine Big, the D-Wagon.
I mean, I've always referred to my back as War Daddy.
Oh, I like that too. Give me conflicting names to use here.
Feels like there should be a lot more going on. Hey, what's up, Hazy Knight? Welcome to the stream.
Oh, my dog is a little special. He just killed
This
Big
seems
Friend.
to be the most common level 7, or level 10, rather. I think it's because we're split up right now.
Maybe.
Perhaps we should do more chaos on the body front.
I'm gonna move on the orange marker and just orbital laser that whole area.
Want me to back you up?
Oh!
Oh, sure. That'd be lovely.
I got my corpse rearranged.
No, War Daddy down.
Yeah, War Daddy dead.
Orbital inbound.
Firing orbital laser.
Luminous west. 50 meters.
I would move block.
Outpost destroyed.
What? Why?
All right.
There's a
Oh, that's
laser.
done.
Well, that was easy.
Alrighty.
Man, I haven't played.
Alright, better tie yourself down.
I was gotta say, remember that that super license is a privilege, not a right.
Well, I believe in all rights and left for every combatant.
Mission at 30 minutes.
Oh no!
Found something.
No, that's Dabster Fox's real voice, Hazy Knight, not a mod.
Requesting air support.
Am I being referred to as a bot right now?
According to chat.
I've never been so insulted in my life. I want names for that person's democracy officer. Helldivers.
Brain is currently being scrambled.
I'm just EB.
I'm just.
I'm just easy.
Super EB.
200 meters.
Dropping a pin. Southwest. 200 meters.
Miss anything? Oh, we already got everything.
Yeah.
We got a secondary big, but we want to do a convoy move. Unless you want to pull off a race.
Yeah, we could do that.
What's the point of interest we can all stop at? Why don't we stop over on this top city up north? We'll
Alright.
make it a race all the way back to Extract.
Northwest. Far.
Meet
Very
there.
well.
Wasp, how do you feel that grape is still in our vehicle?
Betrayed.
What? I didn't realize there was something to that.
Oh no, you
That's how he feels about it.
proper to get a head-on collision with.
Still trying to fight someone. This comical myself.
Join the fray.
Got equipment.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Currently.
I did get eviscerated.
And I'm the one that jumped out of the car at that point and died from the press I live.
You were smart. You took off your seatbelt to get out. Watch is pretty much choked on it. Don't worry, I got an extra.
Pulling down a vehicle.
All the time playing Ghost Recon Wildlands really helped my driving skills in this game, apparently.
Yeah, I'm getting in the passenger side this time.
Oh, come on. What are you?
No less than the equal side.
I'm sick of falling out of the top.
Alright, let's see. Let's set ourselves up over there, yeah. We'll face ourselves south.
Alright. So is this the starting line right here?
Right here behind this line.
You want to just race to Extract?
I think, yeah, whoever gets to extract first and calls it in, that's the goal.
Alright.
You sure don't want to get in the back plot? I can launch you out to get there faster.
I'll take my chances with the seatbelt.
Alright. Whoever wants to call it, go for it.
Oh sure, here we go. Ready? Alright. Here, wait. Here, ready? To start it off. Oh wait, I should probably be in the car. Never mind. Alright,
Oh, I
3.
got an idea. Here.
Fire in the hole!
There we go. There we go. For
I thought you
theatrics.
were gonna drop the hell bomb.
I did too
Fun
at
to
first.
start.
So the race to extract begins.
Come on, you can't do that now.
Woohoo, we're taking fire. Good thing they reduced how much the tires pop. How often that happens.
Agree.
Ow.
And now we're just driving through buildings. Okay, okay.
Don't reveal my secret move.
I think they've beaten us to extract.
Not unless I beat them first.
Oh,
Grab
oh,
all of
fuck.
their arrows on the other side.
I'm stuck.
I didn't.
I'm stuck in the vehicle. Hold up! I can't get out.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's all make a square real quick, facing north.
Hold up! Somebody come move the vehicle. I am stuck inside.
Oh, I got it.
Dropping a pin. Northeast. 300 meters.
I don't think I'm getting out of this.
Dropping a pin. North.
Hold on. I'll scare your character out.
And here we go.
And
Got equipment.
Oh my word! Took long enough.
scare him out.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Create a box.
Ready to liberate. Requesting fortification.
Where's the box being created?
Tagging location.
They are marked.
Over here. Calling down fortification.
Ow.
This will be a very interesting box.
It's
It's an oblong.
I was homeschooled. All right.
Hey, yo.
I'm pretty sure we were all homeschooled at some point, right?
At some
Were you
point.
indoctrinated?
I'll be honest with you, kind of looks more like a math equation.
If 7 divides by... We need a 1 here.
10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Rick,
What?
out of the back. We need your wall.
Wait, no math.
Pickup.
Wall?
Yeah, you have a wall.
Pelican 1 landing sequence initiated.
Oh,
No.
now I can.
Now I'll never know what 7 divided by nothing means.
Requesting orbital.
All right.
Oh my god.
In 20
Democracy.
extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
You have maintained our way of life.
All right. I feel like we need to do the defense mission just to finish the op at this point.
Just be honest, Vlad. You just want to finish the episode in the background.
True. True. We are at the. Yeah, there's like 15 minutes left. The perfect amount of time.
Well, let's get on it.
Well, you secured a lot of samples. Well done.
The hour of our next victory rapidly approaches.
Mission coordinates locked.
I feel like the
Hellhound Prime.
incineration corpse has made all other level 10s easy.
Yeah.
I most certainly agree. They definitely humbled us. When they come back to Malevolon Creek, we'll be ready.
I certainly hope so. But I'm also hoping they don't get that far.
I wouldn't dare wait for them to wake going for that tree. Trees won't only be speaking binary or something, they'll also be speaking flame. They be spitting fire, you know.
Actually, hold up. I forgot these are Illuminate, not bots.
Yep. Chunk of them are going to be flying around.
Let's hope they show up. These missions have been a little buggy lately.
Hellpod launch initiated.
For democracy.
For liberty! Always gotta plug where I can, you know?
We all do our part here.
I've been subtly doing that, where I'll write in the chat for liberty before most games, and I'm hoping enough players will get used to saying Plot Coalition for Liberty that when it pops up in their feed one day, it clicks.
So you're trying to bait them. That's amazing. Perfect marketing. Doesn't
Exactly.
cost you
Calling down a sentry.
One of these days, you'll see a bunch of people spamming it.
Freedom requires firepower.
Oh, guess I gotta let that burn out.
Calling down fortifications.
Democracy fuels my lead slinger.
Fortifications.
Democracy gives me strength.
Liberty, give me death, or give me freedom. This is the way.
I can plug my own fan fiction with "Till Liberty Do Us Part."
There you go. Plug.
Now we need Helldivers in wedding gowns.
You have no idea.
If I get married and Lady Liberty isn't there, the wedding's off.
How'd you like to taste for freedom?
Blow those pieces of junk out of the sky.
Oh no. I did myself in.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Oh, Hazy, I was running a full Mando kit earlier.
Point me to the enemy.
Southwest. Dropships. South.
I'm taking a liking to this outfit I got on. Reminds me of Obi-Wan when he had to play as, what do you call it, bounty hunter. That one episode of Clone Wars. I agree with you on the earlier comment you made, by the way, Plaid, when you said this is pretty much just like the best helmet they've released so far. This is probably gonna be my go-to helmet.
Requesting sentry.
Yeah.
I want more helmets with antenna on it. I don't know why. It just looks cool. Com links are always cool.
No back. beacon.
Sending down equipment package.
The order of the
Going down
Republic.
fortifications.
Oh, that went the wrong way.
Why are we overthrowing one?
What's that?
Somebody suggested to overthrow one in the chat.
Oh.
Overthrow. That's dissonant time.
Order 66.
Will be done, my lord. Like Christmas morning on the right.
Requesting fortification.
Goodness.
Have a taste of democracy!
Well, it was a noble effort on their part.
I thought we were on the second wave, or at least the third.
Nah.
Calling down fortifications. Requesting fortifications.
Sweet liberty. Time sure flies when you're delivering freedom.
Calling down a sentry.
Come on, guys, where you at?
This better not be what I think is happening.
They're a little scared.
As
I
they
don't
should
blame
be.
them.
It must always be scared. Liberty will never fall to these creatures.
Can you imagine if nothing else happened for the... It just kept launching the rockets.
This is the stuff I was talking about earlier. This is the shit I actually was dealing with before I joined. So let's see if they actually show.
Requesting order.
Incoming.
They're here.
Incoming,
Finally.
incoming, incoming.
Red alert. Fresh shipment inbound.
Say hello to democracy! Requesting fortification.
Tagging location.
Enemy harvester on south. Never mind. Must have been my imagination.
Calling down fortifications. Calling down fortifications.
Oh, that's interesting. If the wall doesn't have room to expand, it will just sit there as a turret.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did notice that earlier. It only opened on one side. I was like, that's a neat detail.
Sending down sentry.
Yeah, indeed. That's pretty neat.
He's pretty shy.
Calling
Don't
down
worry, it gets
sentry.
bigger when it has space. We should do like a back-to-back. And all four of us just toss our placements down.
Calling down supplies.
Just make a death square.
Sending down equipment package.
Bot randomly looks so locked in. Yeah, I agree. Every once in a while, his brain clicks, and he's back at Nam.
It's when the autism turns back on.
Requesting fortification.
Turn that luminant off.
No, he's talking to old tricky bitch.
Time to give them the old razzle dazzle.
Well, man, oh man, I feel lonely up here now.
I'm sorry, Vlad. Would you like to
I'm coming your way. Okay, I have a square ready if we wanted to build a
All
death
right.
square.
Let's get back to back. We'll set up right here.
Great, so we're going back to back on theirs or back to back each other?
Like back to back each other. Let's all just like back to back in person and just throw the armament like right on the floor, right in front of our feet, like all the way down below. Let's see how this looks.
Calling down fortifications.
Calling down fortifications.
I'll tell you one thing, it's gonna look like a wall.
Nope. Went a little off. We still got hope.
It's tactical, you know?
It's a tactical rhombus. Or a trapezoid. Oh,
Oh, bye, Wasp.
wasp down, wasp down.
Requesting sentry.
He was so disappointed that the square didn't work out.
He committed court martial.
Oh, hello there.
Perfect.
Down. Squids.
Let's put all the floating dishes in the sky.
Freedom forever.
Wasp, help! We're dying down here. Damn it!
He's back.
He's gone again.
What?
Calling down a sentry.
Ah, there he is, there he is.
Good lord, what is going on?
McDonald's Wi-Fi?
Got that Tesco Wi-Fi.
I rejoined and then it said host left.
Look, we can't all connect to the automaton Wi-Fi from over here on the illusion side.
Damn. Gets pretty freaky.
Requesting
Yeah,
fortifications.
plus there's a bunch of viruses. The right side is just a new form of topographical anomaly here. This is like trench warfare
Orbital inbound. Calling down
at its finest.
I'm gonna make the game more interesting.
Oh, ah!
Oh,
I decided to make the plot more interesting.
oh, you want to make it, huh? I'll show you something to think about.
For fuck's sake.
Reinforcements have been launched.
Watch out, Wasp.
Democracy's with me. What's that one clip from Keith David where he's just like, "Welcome to hell."
He's gone again.
Oh no. Went too hard on the paint.
Liberty, save me! South, 50 meters.
Just in time.
Throwing supply beacon. Locating advanced weaponry. I didn't see that. Reinforcing.
Well, man, oh man. Thanks for the ibuprofen, Orty.
You guys coming? I have a headache.
Oh, super hard. Calling down fortifications.
Splitting
Sending down fortification.
as in I'm in half.
Wasp, are you coming back to do your part here?
Where you at, Diver? You're failing democracy.
He's trying. So he says anyways. Sounds like cowardice to me.
Nowhere to suppose.
I'm back once again.
That's authorized.
Requesting sentry.
Another triumph from managed democracy. May
welcome
liberty
back.
guide your sleeping
Back in time to take all the glory.
Betrayal.
Showing up at the last second just to take all the credit?
It truly is. Very complex.
landing in progress.
Industrial complex.
Hold it there, traitor. You don't get up on this platform without making one pass by me.
Barrage incoming. Stand clear. Down initiated. Stand by for takeoff. Reinforcement project depleted. Extraction complete.
I made it fast enough.
It was easy. I just had to run up and punch him in the face.
Liberty has seen you through.
The last thing
Kick
he
him in the
expected.
balls.
Whoa, now I am behind me on the screen. New Frontiers ended at some point. There are two plots. That's the plot twist right there.
Liberty guides our righteous path today. Well done, divers.
Well done in
Can I get
the...
some fruit stacks now?
Oh, so who's the hostage now?
No, you don't get aim.
What'd you say, diver? You're out of line. You're only allowed one
You get
snack
democracy
every 5 hours.
snacks.
You would know that if you listen to your training.
I'm sorry, officer. I'm sorry.
Alright, well, thank you for playing. It was a good time. Good time.